started earlier again, but got here. And so, all right, I already got 3 likes. It just started. Thanks, guys. So hopefully I catch a bunch of the Brick Therapy 2-3 community, Lego community, people who like Lego and like building Lego Star Wars in particular today. So I'm continuing the Midi, continuing the Midi size Millennium Falcon set. So thanks for joining me on this build and welcome. Hey, Lieutenant Shorty, welcome to the channel. If you like Lego and you like talking about Lego and like building Lego, please like and subscribe and join us as we talk about the Midi Falcon. So this is where I left off yesterday, and now you can see the cross section of the ship itself. And this was a really cool part of the build. So it gives you the oh, Blackout, welcome, got you. All right, Blackout is here. This was a cool part of the build yesterday. So these 2 pieces snap together right there, and so they're built on these hinge pieces here, or these I don't know what you would call those Technic parts, but they bend down, and so it gives that kind of more of that cone shape part of the Falcon. So I was saying yesterday, man, if you like Star Wars and you want to collect Star Wars ships and not spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on the bigger models, these are great. So actually kudos to Lego for introducing these mid-size scale ships. The only catch is they don't come with minifigures. However, who pointed it out yesterday? Then you just buy the microfighters, right? You just buy the microfighters often now and again. Like they did have a microfighter Millennium Falcon, but then you buy the microfighters. Gotta grab one. This isn't exactly I know I have one of the Millennium Falcon, and then you get a minifigure. So microfighters and Midi size scale ships, your Star Wars Lego collection can grow and be pretty impressive, and then you're saving quite a lot of money. But if you are a Lego fan, you're probably going to want the bigger sets. But that's a great way to just kind of stay within budget, right? Buy these size scaled ships. They're great. Danzo Mando is here. I'm thinking of making a VR video, says Danzo Mando. Z-Man's Lego Creations. I'm using a metal that I can type with. Matt is alive. Love it. Here we go. Early on. Matt is alive, has arrived, digging the dive, striving to survive, drive to thrive. High five, subscribe, and like the live. Excellent. Matt is alive. Got to show this here just in case some of you guys sign off halfway through. So I've been saying I have a couple of the play scale size Millennium Falcon. So here's the White Falcon from the Han Solo movie. And my favorite Star Wars sets are centered around these builds, right? The Millennium Falcon builds, of course. Then these are probably some of the best because of it's basically still very kid-friendly size. You've got inside a ship hull that you can actually also interact with, and it looks like the original toy that, if I want to say, is it Mattel who made these Star Wars toys originally? But you've got that, you've got the pilot area, right? Cockpit. So you've got all this in a play scale size Millennium Falcon. Actually, more so than you would in the UCS ships, but or in the UCS Millennium Falcon, because that one, I think it only has like one corner section that is a part you can open up and has detailed on the inside, and then I think you can also put the cockpit and have the Han Solo and crew in there. but I think that is probably the best scale in terms of playability. But the midi scale, mid-size scale, I hear midi size, so these look great, but obviously more of a model. But in terms of playability or display, it's been a great build. It looks great. It's very detailed, and it's on sale on Amazon. So a set worth having. For if you buy it on Amazon, it's about 15. I want to say about, I think on Lego.com, what is it? $89, and then on Amazon it's $67. $84.99. So it's $84.99 on the Lego.com website. This is set 75375. Slow to getting started here, just kind of get warmed up, thinking about all the kind of the prelude to things I wanted to talk about here. So yeah, this is $84.99 on the Lego.com site, but on Amazon you'll see it there, and Walmart I think $67. So it's a good size discount. And then if you have an Amazon gift card, you know, and you're thinking of this set, it's a good build. Your screen is flipped. Just now realized my screen is flipped. Uh-oh, is it? You mean things are upside down? Let me know, guys, if the video is upside down, because to me it looks right side up, and I'm watching another link to it and everything seems okay, but let me know. Let's see. Dan Zamando says, nice theory. Is that the color and color placement of Lando ship is a nod to R2-D2? That is true. Very cool, Dan Zamando. I forgot about that detail. You're right, because the white and blue, it's definitely a R2-D2 color scheme. That's very cool. Nice theory, he says. But yeah, that's cool. Lieutenant Shorty says, just realized today how awesome Rivendell is. Yes. I gotta keep this in the background for quite a while, right? Rivendell. Again, if you're budgeting money to buy big sets, save that $1,000 and get Barad-dûr and Rivendell. And heck, you get two sets, plus you get a lot more. Well, I guess you don't get a lot more, but you get a pretty awesome minifigure, especially with the Barad-dûr sets. Lieutenant Shorty says, oh, Blackout says, yeah, Rivendell's awesome. Hello. Hello, Will. Tomorrow's my birthday. Happy birthday, Will. Psh, high five to that. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Danzo Mando says, oh, I know. Yes, there's those two numbers again. All right, it's $68, because if you round up if you go on Amazon, the mid-scale size Millennium Falcon, $68. We'll avoid that silly joke. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Lego Timmy, what's up? Hey, Lego Timmy, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. You've been pretty busy, posting quite a lot. So thank you for joining this live stream. Again, real quick, we've finished a couple sets over the last couple weeks, including Barad-dûr, and then moved to the 3-in-1 castle that I got on release day. Looking great. I'm enjoying these last series of sets instead of keeping things in the backlog. And then the mid-size scale Star Wars Millennium Falcon, which this is probably the fastest I've purchased and started assembling a Lego set in recent memory, because I got it Sunday because I wanted to live stream this set in preparation for maybe looking at the UCS Millennium Falcon more seriously. Maybe we'll see. I'm looking forward to hopefully a Black Friday deal, which Lego and other retailers have been consistent with, and see what will happen, what incentives I can take advantage of on or in November. I don't know if the UCS Millennium Falcon will go on sale. That would be awesome. But there are other ways, there are other incentives that they have if you purchase through Lego.com, which I've said already, but use your insider points that you've stacked, but then they offer double insider points. So imagine getting double insider points on over $800 Lego set, Rakuten discount, and maybe getting gift for purchases because you're making such a high price point. So there's a lot to at least potentially take advantage of. Lego Timmy says, how long until you reach your goal for watch hours? That's a good question, Lego Timmy. I kind of mentioned it yesterday because someone else had asked if we were monetized. I don't know, to be honest with you, because as you know, being established on YouTube, the 4,000 hours changes every single day. So you need 4,000 watch hours until you get monetized. And depending on what I did this time a year ago, if I had a video that also did really well, and I wasn't live streaming back then, so I don't have as consistent record of watch hours a year ago, and that every day you go back 365 days, and that's where the 4,000 hours count. So today or tomorrow at this time, we'll start a new count of 4,000 watch hours, because then it goes back exactly a year to September 17th, and whatever I posted that day or after that within that time period. So that may sound confusing, but basically it's a moving target, right? So you have to have 4,000 watch hours on your channel within a 365 day period. So tomorrow we'll start a new count because it goes back 1 year to September 17th and anytime after September 17th. So today it goes back to September 16th. So I get the hours counted for that. So it's fluctuated. Basically, we were close for almost at 3,000 watch hours, and then that day or two went away, and then it dropped down to 2,000. So man, I hope, if anything, I hope by this time, maybe in December when we started our live streams, that those will count more, or the hours will go up again, because that's when we started live streaming. And then I started to figure out how consistency really works with YouTube. You think you understand the process, and then you don't. And then I know I see a lot of YouTubers who just make channels about how to be on YouTube and be productive and prolific and how to get watch hours, and it just becomes it becomes quite involved. But that's okay. I'm enjoying this. As long as I'm enjoying this, and my son likes to live stream now and again during the school year, this will be good. Danzo Mando says, bro, Mangoes has 6-letter. Oh my gosh, you're getting into all the 13 stuff. I don't know, Danzo Mando. You'll have to explain that one. Lego Timmy says, I joined your Discord, by the way. If you need any help with it, I'm willing to help you. It took me 3 years to reach my watch hours. Oh, awesome. Lego Timmy, thank you. I will reach out to you for sure. Hello, Tyler Stone. Psh, welcome. Yes, I'll reach out to you for sure, Lego Timmy. Just blessed to have you as part of our community. I really thank you for that. I think what would help the most is everyone who checks out our live stream on a regular basis. If you could also watch one of our videos within the last 6 months or so, all the long form videos, they're not too long. And I think they're kind of fun. All the ones that we did videos on, mostly going to the Lego store, or a short review of a Lego set. If you guys could watch those, that will, I think it's up to 4 minutes worth. So just, watch for 4 minutes, and then that will count towards our watch hours. So that's one personal request I could put out there for you guys. Danzo Mando says, you need to read it anyway. Okay, Danzo Mando, I will get to it. Gotta go. So talking about the Lego set here, I'm building, good question, Tyler. I'm building the mid-scale size Millennium Falcon. 75375. 921 pieces. And here's what I have so far. This is bags 1 through 4. It's looking really good. There's 11 bags total, and you can see the cross section here. I don't know if I can hold these two Falcons next to each other, but for comparison. So here's a play scale size Falcon from the Han Solo movie, and here's the cross section of the Midi scale size Falcon. And I'm guessing, yeah, I think this is probably, this is kind of where we're at. I don't know if you could, there we go. There's a scale size. So if I put the two centered on each other like that, you can see the different scale or size there. So all that to say, I'm trying to build up some momentum towards November, and hopefully maybe getting a UCS Millennium Falcon, which would be the main goal in terms of our collection, our Lego collection in general, but then of course our Lego Star Wars collection. And we got several in the collection here now. You can see the probably one of the best pieces of our collection is the Star Destroyer there, and my son's favorite is the ATTE tank in the lower shelf, if you can see that. So we don't have a super, I guess, large collection of Star Wars sets, but I like what we've got. So Tyler Stone, that's what we're working on. Hello, Glitchfire. Glitchfire says, off topic, but I'm getting Hall Energy Sword. Just wanted to stop by before I get it and go to the gym. I'll probably be 30 minutes. All right, Glitchfire. Halo Energy Sword. Man, you guys are all up to random things right now. Danzo Mando with detailed on the two numbers that are taking over youth humor these days, and a little bit of Lego involved as well. So then Z-Man Lego Creation talking about using metal to type with. So you guys might have to explain more of this at some point, because I am focused now on Lego Star Wars and Lego building. So I was listening to more YouTubers, Lego YouTubers in particular, and hearing more impressions of the Death Star, the opinion of people on the Death Star. And what stood out to me most was, apparently, if you guys are still hanging out, even Lego Timmy as well, those Lego YouTubers who are part of the Lego Ambassadors Network. And so what was interesting about those guys in particular was the fact that they got the Death Star set, reviewed it, which is fine, of course, but I haven't watched. I don't know how many Lego YouTubers are actually ambassadors, Lego ambassadors. I know of maybe 3 for sure. One fairly well-known Lego YouTuber has got quite a following. Like when he posts a video, he'll get over 100,000 views, no problem. No problem. And then the other two, it's maybe half that amount or even less. But those guys got the Death Star set, which is pretty. I don't know. I was gonna say pretty lucky, but I was gonna also thinking like, wow, that's actually one set I did not expect so many people would get for free. So therein lies the controversy, and I can't. Oh, there it is. Therein lies the controversy. Apparently, can you do an honest review of the new Death Star that's coming out if you got it for free? I guess is the question. Now, of course, you can do an honest review, but can you do a review and recommend something that you did not have to spend $1,000 on? Also, because the impressions by a lot of Lego Star Wars fans was the price being one of the major issues of the set, but was the fact that the Death Star's collection of minifigures was not that great, that detailed, no dual molded legs. And then watching the release video and hearing them talk about how the designers had to work within a certain budget, but what was included was kind of like a question mark. Like, why in the world was hey, Chance, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Why in the world is the gift with purchase looking the way it does? It's kind of very oversimplified, kind of unexciting gift with purchase. However, that gift with purchase, that TIE Fighter and 3 minifigures that it comes with, almost demand to be part of the set itself originally. And if you don't buy the set and right away and spend that $1,000, then you're kind of missing part of the set and what it was designed for. So I'm sure people have different points of view on that, but I can agree with that because I watched that release video. It wasn't live. I think Lego probably still has it on their website, but I was thinking that TIE Fighter, to be honest, that TIE Fighter, and I think I said this already, that TIE Fighter gift with purchase, that should just be a permanent thing. Like, make it, I don't know, a longer period of time where that set can be available. Because how many people are going to be able to afford that set right away? So the fact that these Lego ambassadors are reviewing the Death Star and making recommendations based on a set they did not have to buy or spend their own money, $1,000, which would definitely be, I think, a totally different impression if you had to spend that money than just simply saying, yeah, it's not what we all were thinking, but it's good enough. I recommend you buy it. It's like, I don't know. Can you really do that now? I have not seen a ton of reviews on it. I've only seen snippets, but I really, someone made that point, and I think that is that's a very valid point. So if you're not familiar with the LAN network or the Lego Ambassadors Network, these are YouTubers. I think they're all YouTubers, but they have they have a good size enough audience that Lego has chosen them. I think you have to apply and get recognized, but then once you're chosen by Lego, then you have access to free Lego sets that you can review. Now you can review the sets and say what you think. You don't have to basically endorse every single thing you get for free and say it's great. And then if you don't say it's great, you lose your ambassador status. But when you are getting $1,000 set for free and saying, basically saying the set's worth buying, then maybe you need to actually buy it. And so that makes sense to me. I mean, I don't mind. They could make an honest review and say it's a good set. If I had to buy this, I still would buy it. I guess they could say something like that. But I don't know how it was all communicated. But yeah, it does. I don't know. It does leave kind of maybe another unwanted controversy or just an unwanted kind of negative impression of the most expensive Lego set that will be out there within a couple weeks. Very interesting to me. Hey, the Gaming Raptor, welcome. Good to see you. Glad to have you guys here. Cobra Edit says, what's up, Brick Therapy? By the way, where's Little Brick Therapy? He's just finished soccer practice. He'll probably join me more on the weekends, to be honest, since now the school year started. But we will plan some times where he'll join me again in the live streams. I know he's the star of the show, so I'll just show off his sig fig here. There's Little Brick Therapy. There's me, Dad, and so whoops. What the heck? If you like Lego and you like talking about Lego and you like to join the chat and participate in the conversation, appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel. Find this logo here. It's probably down here below somewhere, and click on subscribe. Really appreciate it. So thank you guys. Thank you, Gaming Raptor, for joining us. Glitchfire says, also I tried to record me building, but it was too long a video, so I can't post it. Building the Optimus Prime. Yes, that is one of the Transformers, and makes me think, reminds me of, you know, another set that would be great to have, being, although it's new, so I might wait on that one for a while. There's only, right, so many sets that you can add to your collection, but the Soundwave Transformer looks great. One of my favorites as a kid, when the Transformers were a cartoon series on TV. I think it was like Saturday morning cartoons. I think maybe it was also weekdays, but there were so many good cartoons on in the 80s. So that's my generation. All right, so yeah, just thinking on Lego Star Wars and now Lego Transformers. So many cool sets to think about here. Also, if you don't remember who I am, I'm Star Wars Legacy. I'm just on my Cobra Kai account. Very cool, Star Wars Legacy. Well, you will appreciate it then, I think, building a Star Wars themed set. If you just jumped onto the live stream now, maybe you guys can tell here what I'm building. This is, like I said before, these mid-scale size ships are great. So like I've been saying, if you want to build up a Star Wars collection and not get deep into the heavy spending, those plus these microfighters, I think you got a pretty satisfactory collection right there, if I'm honest. Yes, Cobra Edits, time lapse next time. That's a good idea for Glitchfire. Time lapse the build. I don't know. Do you guys find those interesting, the time-lapse videos? They were a thing for a while. I don't necessarily want to watch an entire YouTube video of someone's time-lapse build of something. Maybe like a section of it. Maybe just me, I don't know, like a minute worth. But then I like just in real time, you know, what the person has to say about the video and just showing off the build and their opinion, their overall review. So actually, that's a good question I'll put out to you guys as I'm talking about other topics here, is what do you guys like most when it comes to Lego themed YouTube channels? Do you like reviews mostly? I tend to like the live streams now, because now you get to see the build happen live, of course, and then you get to talk to the person on the channel, and that's kind of cool. Glitchfire, good to see you. Finished Optimus Prime a few days ago, and oh, he does, and you have Soundwave, awesome. And sounds like you're signing out. All right, Glitchfire, good to see you. But yeah, what do you guys find interesting about when you're watching a YouTube channel, Lego themed? Because there's tons of YouTube channels, but specifically related to Lego, what do you guys find the most interesting, or just something that you'd like to kind of sit back and watch? Live streams are great because you can treat it like a podcast and just listen and, you know, maybe do some other stuff, you know, maybe build your own Lego set while you're listening and then engage in the chat off and on. That's kind of cool. But if it's already a recorded video, what do you guys like to watch? Hey, Cole. Welcome, Cole Nelson. He's here. Oh, Glitchfire is still here. I don't have the Soundwave yet. Getting it for Christmas. Dude, you already know what you're getting for Christmas. That's kind of fun. This is also kind of cool. So here's what I was building. And this is where you have fun watching the building technique. So this panel is going to attach to this side of these red Technic cylinders that, you know, stick out and connect. So it's kind of fun to see the detail in the build there. So there we go. I like that. That's fun. Wonder how steady or how sturdy it will be. Like it'll stay on there. So building up another panel for the Millennium Falcon. Cole says, how do you know you're getting for Christmas? Yeah, I know. I guess Glitchfire has put out his Christmas list, and people are acting on it, or it's a gift to oneself, which is kind of fun. I gifted this Millennium Falcon to myself. I can't say I could wait till Christmas though, but very cool. So maybe it's just a question that's of interest to me, but yeah, what do you guys like when it comes to YouTube videos, or specifically YouTube channels dedicated to Lego? Like, what interests you the most? Is it reviews of sets? Is it news? Like, what's out there, or what's up and coming? What's the latest, release or rumor? Or is it, Lego reviews of sets? I think when I first started, or first came across any Lego YouTube channel, they were reviews. I think most of them were reviews of sets, which I thought were really cool, especially as I just started collecting Lego again with my kids, who were really young at the time. It was fun to see a couple YouTubers pretty much had every single set I was aware of, and it could have just been just from a particular release year, and so maybe that's what caught my attention at first. But trying to see if I have to build something twice here, because it looks like, oh, never mind, I'm putting this panel on the other side. So reviews were one thing, but then what I think I've found even more appealing over time was watching people go, video themselves going to the Lego store and buying the newest release of something. Like when the UCS Millennium Falcon came out new, or when Ninjago City came out new, or some, at that time it seemed like there weren't as many, but when those giant sets were released, seeing those come out new, and just kind of living through the other person's experience as they, videoed their journey to the Lego store and their excitement to go buy whichever set. I like that. So we started our YouTube channel making videos of going to the Lego store because it's fun. So anyway, those are some things I was wondering about, what you guys think about Lego YouTube videos. Reviews, going to the Lego store. Obviously, live streams are fun. It's kind of like a podcast. Glitchfire says, no asking for the amount it costs and buying it. Got it. Cole says, do you have the invisible hand yet? No. Another fun one. That is, I think that's that's another Midi scale size ship, isn't it? Or am I totally confusing themes here? That's a good question, Cole. Andres, welcome. No worries. Glad you're here now. High fives. So it's actually, Glitchfire also makes me think of another fun topic as we get closer to fall season, November, and then Christmas, because big retailers don't want us to miss the fact that, once August hits, you might as well start thinking about Christmas, which is crazy. But what are some sets that you guys are thinking about for Christmas, or within the next couple months? So me building this mid-size Millennium Falcon, I'm thinking of, so this is the mandible part I thought I was building yesterday. So this goes on here we go. Now it's starting to look like kind of a ship here, but now it's starting to look like a Millennium Falcon. So these Technic pieces go right there. So yeah, my goal as we approach Christmas and maybe Black Friday season, oh man, that was pretty satisfying to put those pieces together. I really like this build. Feels so solid too. I really recommend this set. I'm like less than half, or just about halfway through this build, and this is a great build. So if you want a Millennium Falcon and you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars, definitely don't want to spend 800 and some odd dollars. Get the Midi size Falcon. It's a great build. It's solid. The only thing you miss out on is a minifigure like a Han Solo, but you can probably just buy that. You can buy a Han Solo minifig. I don't think there's a bunch of Han Solos that you can't find one for a decent price. Like, I don't think they're all rare. And you can always get the micro fighter size Millennium Falcon, and then you'll have the Han Solo. Even though it's retired, I think it's still probably not too bad a price to just get, even though it might be marked up a little bit since it was retired. But either way, if the ship is the main thing, then you will be very satisfied with this mid-size Millennium Falcon. Plus, as I said yesterday, just observing, the build is very satisfying. Like, there's a lot of fun building techniques in, like I just showed you, like putting the different segments together through Technic pieces, or building up the paneling and seeing all the, you know, details of the ship there with all the flat and smooth plated pieces, and how you connect this mid section here, this cross section here, making it look like the cross section of a larger scale Millennium Falcon ship. But the build goes really fast. So if this is something, you know, you're traveling and you need some downtime just to maybe even just focus on some other project or de-stress or whatever, this build literally goes together. Like, using that phrase kind of as a pun, but this build goes together so well. It goes fast. If you wanted to go faster, you can slow it down. You can take your time on it, but it just looks amazing. Just a fun build, easy to build, a very quick build, a very enjoyable build, and you get a Millennium Falcon at the end. So, you know, one of the most famous and favorite ships, I think, in the Star Wars universe, if I had to guess, since they made a UCS set out of it before all these other ships. And then, of course, you get to add to a Star Wars collection, not spend a ton of money. Cool, another piece of the decor built up right there. I know, I just think the detail on this looks great. And because it's Midi size scale, right? It doesn't take up a lot of space if you want to display it. So here's the acclimator. So many wins, right? So many wins. Cole says, I have to go take a quick shower. I'll be back, right, Cole? Psh, thanks for being here. John Powell, everyone is streaming at the same time. No, John Powell, what is going on? I didn't mean to compete with all you guys. Open up a bunch of tabs and have us all on at once. Although, I guess great minds think alike, right? John Powell, welcome. Psh, Breakstorm. Psh. Yes, agreed. Nice Star Wars set. I know, I'm just raving about this. I'm telling you guys, if this is probably the most excited and endorsement driven I've been, but this is a great set to buy. I held off on it for a long time because I'm like, why would I want a mid-size scale Star Wars ship model? Then I gave in and said, I'll get this one for my son, and he loved it. And display-wise, doesn't take up a bunch of space, easy to clean the dust off. A solid build, very detailed. A challenge, or a fun and challenging build, but also very quick. Like, if you wanted to build this up fast, it'd take you probably just a couple hours. Or maybe I'm being too generous with that. Maybe, I don't know, 3 hours or so at most. And compared to a play scale size Millennium Falcon, I think it holds up in terms of detail, right? So, and if you're gonna shell out $1,000, you are one of those people. Oops, dropped a minifigure. If you're one of those people, this does fit. I heard from those who actually have the Death Star built, those Lego ambassadors. They said this does fit inside the hangar of the Death Star set. The giant dollhouse diorama, so-called UCS Death Star set. So even then, this Midi size Millennium Falcon hits on so many levels in a good way. Like it's just a great build, great set, and 11 bags total. So not bad. All right. Trying to figure out. Oh, did I use the wrong color piece, which is similar to this one? Let me backtrack. So in terms of saving money on sets, I think you can't go wrong with, and then you like Star Wars. Like if you're a major Star Wars fan, then you're going to be pleased with this set. So let me see here. I had to backtrack because I used a piece, I think, but it was the wrong gray color. So I don't know if it matters too much, but I just want to make sure I didn't use it in the wrong part of the build. I was just getting so excited building this Millennium Falcon that I might have used a darker gray when I should have used a lighter gray. Nope, it was the right color. Huh. Anyway, it's okay because I do have a piece that works out here. Build the Rest is here. Psh, welcome. John Powell says, Brickify was streaming and DNM Bricks is streaming right now. Very cool. Hennessy is here. Psh. Brickstorm says, just checking in. I have a lot of stuff to do still. I hear you, Brickstorm. Psh. Thank you for being here and saying hello. Leave a like, guys, if you are just here for a little bit, or if you're here for a long bit, please leave a like. John Powell says, I just built all of these except the cruiser sitting in front of you. Ah, so you have this one not yet built, and this is the only one I've had up until now, and it is built. So there you go. John Powell. We are, oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want any references to that crazy number thing. We're evening each other out there. So how fun is that? Now I'm trying to figure out what in the world. So I kind of got stuck in this one point. There's not many pieces left, so I'm trying to figure out where did I misplace a piece, which I could dig up later in my collection, which is funny, but all right, I'm gonna backtrack one more time. So one of the topics I brought up just a couple minutes ago was, what do you think? So this, just to kind of harp on the Death Star UCS set one more time, the latest thing I've heard, which I guess semi-controversial, is that because obviously the only people who can build and review that set right now are Lego ambassadors, because they got the Death Star set for free, are the credibility and their impressions are in question, because they could recommend the set, but they did not spend $1,000 on it. So if they didn't spend $1,000 on that set, like what can they possibly say that's actually convincing enough to build or to buy a set like that, is the question. So I don't know. I'm just kind of stuck on that idea. But either way, I'm not buying the set. It's definitely, like when I heard about it over the summer, I thought it would be amazing. And I think it is a nice looking set, but it's definitely not, it's not $1,000 of what you would think a Death Star set could be. It's definitely a different set. It's not one that I would have pictured, so we'll see. That's the other thing I'm curious about. How is it going to do when it's released in a couple weeks? Build the Rest says, once I get the new set, I'm going to do a live stream like these. Ooh, Build the Rest. Which new set are we talking about here? Or you haven't decided yet? Maybe you're just saying you are going to get a new set. Nothing in particular just yet. John Powell says, it's the only one I don't have unless it's stashed away somewhere. Ah, talking about the Acclimator. John Powell says, regarding the Lego ambassadors, they can't say anything bad anyway, or they stop getting sets. Yeah, that was a question I had. I've seen some of these Lego ambassador guys critique, like, actually one of them, a pretty, I guess, you know, well-known or well-followed Lego ambassador. Like, he had, when he posts a video, he gets like over, you know, almost close to 1 million sometimes views. So this guy's got quite a following. And maybe he can be the only one to afford it, but he did like highly critique and talk about the Juggernaut, the tank that was just released, and said it's just horrible and it falls apart and all that. But yeah, you're right. I don't know where all that ends up. It'd be quite interesting to see. Kind of what's said. All right, I'm gonna stop obsessing over this one piece because the color scheme is not what I have here, but it's gray anyway, so whatever. I'll just use what I got. And I know there's been guys who have been Lego ambassadors for like temporarily, and then they were critical of Lego, and then they did lose their LAN privilege. So I guess you're right. I just don't understand the this latest issue of how can you endorse something and say it's worth buying, especially the most expensive set out there, and you don't. Did I not open a bag? Okay, now I'm literally missing pieces, and I shouldn't be. Here I was saying, oh, this set, it's great. You're not. It's easy to build. It's easy to build until you're like, I'm missing. It's the paper bag. That's what it is. It's the paper bags. They're not helping me here. How weird. I have to like look at my panel piece here and see if I put something extra that I shouldn't have. But I had to when I built up this wing piece, I thought. What did I do wrong? Oh, I see. I think I might have, aha. So there's one recovered piece. Actually, I'm gonna have to start over. Go figure, guys. Well, it's still a fun, easy build. There's two, basically what I'm talking about here, if you're interested. I am mixing up two different pieces and using them in the wrong spot. So this, I should have been using this instead of this, and I misused it a couple times. But anyway, I'll rebuild and see what you guys think about other topics. Build the rest. God bless you. Psh, thank you, sir. John Powell says, Alex Nunez gives honest reviews and will make negative comments about Lego. He said he hasn't been getting anything for a while. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize. Yeah, I know you're talking about John Powell. I did not realize he was a Lego ambassador. His channel's been around for quite a while. I think, gosh, like he's like one of the first channels I think I actually discovered for Lego YouTubers. And yeah, if he was a LAN ambassador, I was not aware of that. So good on him for, yeah, just giving honest reviews. And I mean, what you could do, and you could just be honest. I think, you know, some of these guys have been called out for it before, like they do it now, but I don't know if all of them did it in the past, was basically saying they like a set. I think the guy I'm thinking of the most who has the hugest following is Solid Brick Studios, but these guys have in the past, like, talk about sets they're building, and they give their review, but they didn't at first say that they got all these sets for free. And I think that was already an issue. So that is good to know, because there's a lot of those sets that have been released over the years, and it's kind of aggravating, I guess, or annoying too, because those guys can do a review well before anyone else, because they get the sets for free, and they get the sets like at least a month or maybe a few weeks ahead of time. So I kind of like how M&R did his review, his kind of troll review of the Millennium Falcon without actually having the set. I think he got a hold of the box somehow and did a release on it, or a, what do you call it? A review on it without actually having the set. It was like everything he does and then just a blank screen. It was kind of funny. 15 years. Okay, that's a solid amount of time to have, a lot of Lego reviews. Yeah, he's kind of, that's a good channel, because he's kind of like how I have my kids. Then they've been growing up with me and building Lego. I should have documented when he was doing the same thing. I thought about doing a Lego YouTube channel for quite a while, and obviously that idea was, like Alex Nunes did, way ahead of time. So very cool. Good on him. All right, now what did I do wrong here? So yeah, just asking in general though, what do you guys think about, oh man, what do you guys think about Lego channels in general? Are they most interesting to you if they're reviews of Lego sets, or live streams are always good because they're like podcasts? Or do you like it? Do you like channels that also go to the Lego store and share in the buying experience? Getting a Lego set, and you kind of see them walk through the store and show off what else is at the Lego store. My son and I like to do those. I don't know if that is the most interesting to some people. So we used to get better watch hours when we started doing that. So I'm trying to think of what are some good ways to add to our channel. My son's done some stop motion. Those have been kind of fun, but it's just, I don't know, it's just an interesting process. So if you like Lego and you're watching, thank you for joining the live stream. Working on the Midi Falcon here. Set number 75375, almost 1,000 pieces, 921 pieces. But I'm going to rave about this set again because I misplaced. It's so funny how you can get thrown off completely. I figured out the pieces I needed right here, but this dark gray and this light gray piece, I had them mixed up with another wings shaped piece, and then I had to take apart a few things and start over. So kind of slowed up my concentration on what I was doing here. And then this is the fun part. So you have everything here and you put in another panel piece, and all the detail, the detail on this mid-sized ship looks so good. And the build feels so solid too. So if you're a Star Wars fan and you want to save money, these are the ships. These are the ship models to get. You're not going to spend hundreds of dollars on Lego. Well, I guess you'll spend a few $100s if you buy all these models, but you get quite a lot of models for the hundreds of dollars you spend versus just one if you buy a UCS set. So hopefully come November, there'll be a lot of good deals, and I can get or take a serious attempt at getting a UCS set. I've never had a UCS set. I've been collecting Lego since, again, rediscovering the Lego hobby and collecting since 2018. And once my kids were really small at the time, once they were into Lego and I helped them build a couple sets here and there, that like re-sparked the interest to revisit this hobby, and it is a blast. It's a joy. So yeah, just enjoying this. Cole is back. Ivan is here. Psh. Bailey bro is here. Psh. Awesome. John Powell says, Alex Nunez and Jason's Bricks in 5 do a weekly show called Brick King News. Oh, there we go. So that's an idea too. Yeah. Collab on to bag 6, guys. Whoops. On to bag 6. You know what comes next. That's all I'm going to say about those 2 numbers. That's another fun idea, right? To collaborate with another Lego YouTube channel, and that like serves in the place of a really good podcast, because then you're lifetime talking with another Lego fan, collector, all that good stuff, and sharing and bouncing off of each other's ideas. Some fun points. And I have not, to John Powell, I have not watched his channel for a while, so that I need to check out that one. So what's it called? It's called Brick King News. I gotta check that out. Brick King News. Thank you, Bailey, for joining the live stream to say. You can just say Bailey. All right, Bailey. Thank you. Cole, the UCS AT is only $200. That's true. That would be like the Walker, what would you call that? Kind of walking tank from Empire Strikes Back. I think that's when that type of, would you even call that a ship? That kind of mechanized attack vehicle was introduced in the Star Wars universe. That's true. I'm not fond. I mean, it looks like definitely a recognizable Star Wars what? Star Wars vehicle, but that's not one I'm interested in. I just like the solidness of the Millennium Falcon. It is a very cool looking ship. There's a lot of, it's like almost like another character to Star Wars when you think about it. So that UCS set, obviously, what? 4 times the price then, I guess, if that AT-AT is $200. So yeah, that is quite a difference. But you can use that $200 on something, I'd be like, okay, I'll settle for, or save it for the Millennium Falcon. So yeah. Bailey says, do you have the Z95 Headhunter? I don't think so. What is that? Is that what theme is that? I'm not even sure. John Powell says the UCS Razor Crest and Clone Gunship are really sweet. Yes, the Clone Gunship, didn't that just get retired like last Christmas? Although I guess that's a while now. That one looked really cool. Of course, that one you could. I saw a couple of YouTubers show off how many snow troopers could you fit inside that thing. That was a cool looking, or is a cool looking build. I appreciated that build. Again, I think really the only UCS set, actually I should say, the only 2 UCS sets I want are for sure the Millennium Falcon, and then perhaps, if that one's not available anymore, I just couldn't get it, it would be the Venator. I think the Venator, it's just a massive looking ship. It looks amazing. The scale of it, this, 10 times the size of this basically. Although this is not exactly the same class ship, but like that would look great. I don't think that set has any interior part to it though, which is interesting. Like, it does come with only 2 mini figures, like an Imperial officer, I think, and this guy right here, I think it comes with Rex, right? It comes with Captain Rex. So that set is, I think the ship model itself, to me, is the selling point. Usually the minifigures kind of make me convinced that it's a set worth buying, but the Venator class ship just looks really amazing. Yeah, the AT-ST is the original Star Wars vehicle. Hey, Mr. Jabba. Psh, thank you, sir. W. So yeah, John Powell says the AT-ST is the original Star Wars vehicle. Yeah, so now if I had to categorize UCS sets, or maybe not categorize, but if I had to say a UCS level build or Lego set that's not Star Wars themed that I would find equally as appealing and fun to purchase and build, I think would be the Titanic. I've seen that built maybe when it first came out. I don't know if I've seen it recently. Built up at the Lego store. And man, seeing that thing, in the glass case, built up. If you are just a fan of Lego and you appreciate Lego building to the extreme, that set, I found that set to be very exciting. Like that would be a build I'd love to have, or a set I'd love to have, a build I would love to, put together. And then, the real dilemma, or not the fun dilemma or challenges, or John Powell, you could speak to this. When you have those UCS sets built up, how do you display them? I see the UCS Millennium Falcon being a major display that that requires a commitment. Like you're gonna have to buy a bookshelf or glass case of some sort to have that. And I've seen they sell stands stands specifically made for it, so it can be, I guess, displayed at an angle. I think all the display sets I've seen are, it's kind of like at this angle, maybe something like that. And it's massive, in a giant glass case. You basically have to have your own Lego store, home Lego store display, like going around an entire bedroom or something to show off a set like that. And I know one person who has that, or met one person through a mutual friend who were talking, and we were just talking Lego, found out, another AFOL, basically an adult fan of Lego. He said he has that UCS Millennium Falcon, and what he ended up doing was he has a coffee table, and he just put it underneath the coffee table, so the table itself is glass, so you can see right through the coffee table, and then below is the Millennium Falcon, the UCS set. So, that's cool, that's fun, and I think I could only really devote enough space to one of those things. So maybe it's a good thing that Lego is disappointing us, or a lot of people, with the, am I doing this right? With the UCS Death Star. Like, it's convincing a lot of people, or, mid-sized Lego collectors, not to even consider buying that set. Number one, for the price, but then you don't have to commit the shelf space or whatever space you got at home to even bother putting that thing on display, because there's just nowhere to put it. So if you already have a couple of UCS sets, you don't need to give those up space-wise for this giant Death Star. All right, now another challenge. How does this darn panel stick correctly to this guy here? Now you can see, like, we got pretty much dedicated one side wall here to what we have in terms of Lego. But if I were to get any more sets like Rivendell or Bardor, we do have our Ninjago modular collection, and we do have some modular sets as well. Then it becomes quite a challenge. Where do you put all these things? Oh, missed some people here. Bailey says, that's cool. Mr. Jabba, Death Star, yes sir. Oh, Bailey says, I have, are you serious? You have the new UCS Death Star? It costs so much. How did you get it so early? Mr. Jama says, I say wow to that as well. John Powell says, dude, my stuff is just packed in shelves. Yeah, that basically is what happens, but it's just so fun. It's such a great thing to have, great hobby. I kind of rotate things out, if to be honest. Like there are sets, like Marvel sets. We were into Marvel for a while there. I've taken those out. A lot of the, except for like the Daily Bugle. I think that's the largest Marvel set we have. But all the ship sets or kind of this diorama display pieces we just put in containers and then kind of rotate things out. The fun part about that is you kind of take them halfway apart and then you can rebuild them again later. Thank you, Cole. W Stream. Bailey says, good night. Sorry, guys. It's 10 o'clock here, so I'm going to sleep. Psh, Bailey, awesome. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you subscribed. Hopefully we'll see you again on the next live stream. Trying to live stream every day. Cole, how close are you to getting monetized? Oh, interesting. You asked that, Cole. I just talked about that at the beginning of the stream. I think you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So the watch hours are the hardest part right now. We've got about roughly around 2,000 watch hours, but we need 4,000 watch hours over a year period. And that count changes every day. So if you could help us by watching some of our other videos and help give to those watch hours, that would be awesome. Cole says, I actually really like the Death Star, just not for $1,000. Yeah, agreed. It's a cool set. It's just, it's not the set I was picturing. Mr. Java says, I love the channel. That's why I'm subscribed. Thank you, Mr. Java. John Powell says he doesn't have the Death Star. John Powell calling him out. My dining room is nothing but shelves filled with Lego. Yes, the true sign of a Lego collector. Yes, sir. Ivan says, how are you doing, Brick Therapy? Thank you, Ivan. Good. How are you? Psh, building away here. Thank you, Lidoom. Doing well. Building away here. And I think I've got enough to finish bag 5 and 6. I mean, I got enough time to finish bag 5 and 6. So I finished bag 5. That was the first mandible part of the ship here. And let me kind of blast through this real quick and see if I can, because I really want to attach this other piece and show you guys. And kind of catch up with the chat here in a moment. But yeah, Lego YouTube channels are probably a dime a dozen, but it's just a fun theme to talk about. I don't really have one of those talents per se to talk about something where I can, I don't know, teach people how to do things. There's some of those. There's a lot of channels that, talk about current events, which can be interesting in many ways, but also there's just a lot of talking heads, and those can actually, honestly, that can get quite depressing. So I just love talking Lego with you guys, and especially now as we get into closer to November, what are some fun themes everyone's thinking about getting? What are some fun things you guys think you'll get? I don't know. I'm really interested also in that Black Pearl set, but that will be, that's like another almost $400, right? So, my gosh, I don't know, guys. There's so many things to think about when it comes to Lego sets. And, people pointed out already, like, if you compare over the years how much Lego has released in terms of sets that people want to collect and build, it's just crazy. The count is super high. Like, how much can people actually buy now and afford and keep up their Lego collection? So that's where, you know, requires restraint. I know that's, you know, probably a good reason why Lego's new theme or slogan, I guess you could say, is adults welcome. Adults welcome. So kind of thrown off here on a wing part here. So yeah, just thinking about when it comes to fall, or as we get closer to Black Friday and such, what are some sets out there that will interest people? What are some sets that you guys are going to get? So, aha, figured it out. All right, almost ready to show off this mandible. So I was thinking the Black Pearl or Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship as a possibility. As a future set, who knows if I'll ever get it, but I would love to see it next to the Barador here. Totally different themes, but man, having those two sets, you know, all that cool, smooth looking, sheer face, black colored sets would look so great next to each other. And I don't know, it's only money, but you know, if I get that UCS Millennium Falcon, kind of like you, John Powell, I'm gonna have to hold off for quite a while, but that's okay. We got a backlog. There'd be plenty to live stream about, which would, you know, and then you think about what is Lego gonna release in 2026 that again is just gonna be like, oh, I want that set, you know. Then you're thinking in general terms, there's like the sound waves, their transformer set that is, you know, appeals to a lot of Gen X or people who like Transformers when they were a kid. The castle sets, which I think I'm good with now, that Lion Knights castle, I'm glad I got that a while ago because that was a set that I wanted to get that definitely complements set, and got the yellow castle, the old school yellow castle set. I feel like it complements that one, and that'll be fun build. So I definitely could live stream that coming up soon. I guess you could say that would be like a UCS set. I think I mentioned that before. That could be like a UCS set because, you know, in terms of castle sets goes, it's definitely, I think, probably the biggest castle set they have. Although you guys might know of another one. I wasn't into Lego when they had the second go around of Lego Castle, like, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s. But all right, here we go. The second mandible piece ready to connect onto the front of the Falcon here. Ooh, this connects in two places. Make sure I don't knock anything off here since it's a bunch of Technic rods that slide in. Oh man, these Technic pieces. Ah, there we go. All right, there we go. It's connected right there. There's a yellow, gray, and a red one, if you can see that. Just make sure these go in. Man, this set's not going to be too fun to take apart. So like I said before, this is a solid build. All right. I want to hear that snap. You know what I mean? Oops. All right, there we go. Is that bag 6? Of course, knocked off a piece. Replace that. And all right, there we go. The Midi Falcon. Cole says the 2026 UCS is actually rumored to be a superstar destroyer. I believe you are right. I've seen that. John Powell says the problem before was buying a $200 set, but now it's all $400 and up. Yes, the price issues. Ivan says, I have the Lego UCS Millennium Falcon. Very cool, Ivan. What would you say? I would say worth it, right? I don't have it, but I think it's worth it. All right, guys. Like you, it's getting not too late out here, but I'm going to sign off. Let me get these last 2 comments in here. John Powell says, yeah, caught the Lion Knight Castle on sale and grabbed 2 of them. I think it was $130 each. I saw that when it went on sale, John Powell. I can't believe it, how much of a discount it was. Good on you for getting 2 of those. That's an amazing build. You know, if we can ever put all these together. Ivan says, Brick Therapy, when you buy the Lego UCS Millennium Falcon, use the instruction book tray to dump all the Lego pieces into the tray to make it easier to build. That's what I do with mine. Awesome, Ivan. I'm going to remember that. I need to pin that comment, man. That is that is good advice. Lydoom is out. Lydoom says, rumors have been spreading around for Lego ideas with the set, the Doodle Bob. I honestly want him for my SpongeBob collection. Very fun. The new Black Pearl is peak. Yes, sir. All right, you guys. See you. Have a good rest of your day. I will see you Wednesday with another live stream. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, John Powell. Ivan with the great advice. And everyone can Glitch Fire. Bailey was here for a little bit. Build the Rest. Brick Storm, of course. Glitch Fire, Cole. Gosh, all you guys. The Gaming Raptor said hello. Joined for the first time. Cobra Edits, also known as, I think, Star Wars Legacy. Lego Timmy. Thank you all, you guys, for joining me. Have a great rest of your evening.